Now to the death of Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest-serving monarch, back home in London tonight. Her coffin just a short time ago, driven inside Buckingham Palace. Thousands gathered outside the palace, waiting hours in the rain just for a quick glimpse of the coffin. It has been placed inside the ballroom. King Charles and other family members spending the night inside Buckingham Palace with the late Queen. Eyewitness News reporter Pineda is live in London watching today's events and talking to those determined to pay their respects to the Queen. Nina?
And all of London just paused, Sade. And the capital city is a lot like New York, and that's very rare. But the long reigning sovereign really earned that respect. And it was something really to witness that this mournful silence along the streets gave way to cheers and applause as they welcome home a queen. Under a steady rain, the glass hearse carrying a queen made its way through the streets of London.
Just like a really impressive woman, and just like she's an inspiration to loads of people across the world, really.
12-year-old Mary Yates set up her little camp in the early afternoon. Did you think it was important for your daughter to see?
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
Because she's been a bigger part of our life for a long time.
The royal family has gathered at Buckingham Palace to mourn as a family before the public viewing begins.
We respect the monarch and like the royal family and the great works the Queen has done.
These three friends are the first in line. They're asking people to start queuing on this side of the River Thames. They will then cross a bridge and then file into Westminster Hall, where the wait is expected to be at least 36 hours. The Queen will line state for 5 days. Earlier today, she was praised in Northern Ireland, where King Charles was greeted warmly.
Queen Elizabeth was not a distant observer in the transformation and progress of relationships in and between these islands.
I take up my new duties resolved to seek the welfare of all the inhabitants of Northern Ireland.
The King's sister, Princess Anne, accompanied her mother to London after Scotland bid farewell to Elizabeth, Queen of Scots. Greeters viewing her coffin's arrival home to London didn't mind waiting for hours.
Even with her death, I mean, she had a long life. Like, she did well as a monarch. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, getting to 96, it's not bad.
When you're the Queen and you live to be 96, you get to plan a lot of your funeral. And apparently Queen Elizabeth II directed that the inside of her coffin be lit like that so that everyone could see her and celebrate her life. Reporting live in London, I'm Nina Pineda. Bill and Sade will have another report for you coming up at 6 o'clock. I'll send it back to you in the studio in New York.
Just really fascinating reporting all week. Nina, thank you so much. In succeeding his mother, King Charles III takes over leadership of both the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. What is the Commonwealth of Nations, you ask? Good question. It's made up of 56 countries, most British colonies with more than 2.5 billion people. Not as vast as the old British Empire, but it's big enough. Eyewitness News anchor Shirleen Allicot looks at the future of the Commonwealth now that it will see a change in leadership for the first time in 7 decades, and she has a personal connection to all this.
Good evening, Bill and Sade. The Commonwealth is a remnant of the British Empire. It is home to billions of people, and while it is thought to be the Queen's greatest achievement, many people are wondering, with a new monarch at the helm, King Charles, if the loyalty will stay strong. As King Charles completes his UK tour, a new monarch in the House of Windsor is reviving the debate about the future of the British Commonwealth.
The Queen had made specific wishes that she did want King Charles III to take over the Commonwealth, and I do think that there is a chance that things can continue. However, it is very difficult because people just aren't used to this change. They've never seen it in their whole lifetime.
For 70 years, the Queen is credited with keeping the Commonwealth alive as its leader, made up of 56 independent countries, most of which are former colonies of the British Empire. But the complicated legacy has prompted some countries to consider parting ways. Antigua and Barbuda plan to vote on the future of the king as head of state. And last year, Barbados removed the Queen as head of state, but remains a member of the Commonwealth.
And we are going to bend and bow and kneel to them as if they are gods. Those days are done.
In March, Prince William and Kate were met with protests during their Caribbean tour, especially in Jamaica, where there are calls for slavery reparations.
My heritage is Jamaican. There's obviously questions there about whether or not we should move to the Republic. For myself, I think King Charles should be King of Jamaica. Controversial, it may sound. Why is that? Continuity.
King Charles clearly has his work cut out for him, but with his desire to bring the Commonwealth into the future and his focus on the environment while also carrying out his mother's wishes, there is hope. By the way, Bill and Sade, I wanted you to take a look at these pictures from 1966 of a young Queen Elizabeth visiting British Guyana. My mother was a young schoolgirl, and she was there. She was able to meet the Queen and shake her hand. She said to me that she was beautiful and she was gracious, and she will never forget that moment. This really speaks to the deep connection that the Queen has with so many people.